Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. We're getting a lot of good stories, if you will, about things getting better as far as Ebola. But you know what? I for one, wonder about, is it going to end with Ebola? And what's next around the corner? And the reality is that there's certain factors that have happened over the last couple of decades that have led to the rise of Ebola becoming a problem beyond Western Africa. And those same problems, the shrinking of our planet that Thomas Friedman talked about, and how we are all much closer because of our mobility, is making things so far away actually becoming much, much closer. And so I'm delighted to have on a program Hoji Alimi, and he's with a group called Ruthogen, and they're specialists in dealing with diseases such as this. And Hoji, welcome to the program. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us a little bit about Ruthogen.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me on your show. My name is Hoji Alimi. I'm CEO and chairman of Ruthogen Inc. We are a pharmaceutical company, and we are developing, Kevin, the very first novel non-antibiotic-based drug that can be used prophylactically in invasive surgeries to prevent infection. Okay. Primarily, the philosophy behind this drug is we believe that you cannot use the same old drugs as in the past and expect new results. And we see that in the hospitals today. In the healthy individuals, they go under a normal routine surgery, and they end up with an infection, either with MRSA or different types of antibiotic resistance, and they end up in hospital much longer periods than expected.
Okay.
So this is really an exciting drug. We are really excited because what we are doing is we are taking a different approach than other pharmaceutical companies. Antibiotics, because of the overall use of it, not only in hospitals and humans, but also we use it on cattle, we use it in agriculture. And when you flush all that antibiotic into the environment, now bacteria is overexposed and they are rapidly changing and mutating. There was a report came out from CDC that in 1940s, when there was an antibiotic launched, it would take 10 years for a superbug to emerge. But since 1990s, simultaneously or within 1 year after a new antibiotic is launched, immediately you see a superbug. That's how fast they're mutating. And to your point, now on our planet, individuals are traveling. Business people are traveling from Europe to China to Asia back to U.S. We are carrying all these germs on our bodies, and we are migrating and spreading it at a much faster speed. So to us at Ruthogen, developing a new tool, developing a new drug, such as RUT58-60, that is not an antibiotic-based drug, it's extremely key to save lives and to improve healthcare. Okay,
so Ebola obviously is the big scare. There's things about Ebola that by design doesn't make it something that there'll ever be, or likely won't be a major motion picture about just wiping out the entire planet. It's not. It's got very narrow windows that it works with and that type of thing. But it's scary. It's really scary stuff. The mortality rates have gone from 90% to 70%, thanks to the fact that we're getting so many of them to Western countries that are capable to deal with a lot of these, and they're developing better techniques there in many of those countries. But the thing that I thought about, the thing that captured my imagination, is the fact that they're not just in West Africa. There's people now all over the world engaging with peoples that we didn't engage with decades ago. What are some other things that are out there that the listeners should be aware of?
Well, it's one thing, Kevin, I just want to say is not only that people are in touch with each other, but unfortunately, in certain areas geographically, the healthcare and the hygiene is not as well controlled. So you can see the spread of, for example, Ebola much more rapid in southern part of Africa or certain states there, as how well it is controlled in the U.S. So it's really improving those standards globally. it's extremely critical to controlling the spread of any kind of, either viruses. A decade ago we were dealing with avian flu, and now we are dealing with Ebola. And a few years ago we were dealing with MRSA. Everybody was scared of that. It was back and forth on CNN and so on. So it's just, it's better standards and then better tools and better innovative tools are important. In terms of what else is out there, Kevin, there are bacteria and viruses are changing almost on a daily basis, and they don't have brains, but they have a very clever biology, and we can get really creative in our mind what else can happen, but in reality the fundamentals of science or bacteria are a few steps ahead of our science today, ahead of our drug development, and that's the scary part for us.
Yeah, no question about it. And, it continues to grow. My biggest concern is that the next Ebola is something that we're not even aware of as you and I chat today.
Yeah, as I said, but at the same time, I don't like to go to the extremes, put significant fear in people, but let's also be aware of the tools that we do have. Yes, there is a possibility for something even worse than Ebola to come out, but let's also give credit to the well-controlled procedures and so on that very quickly was adopted in hospitals, and they're doing a fantastic job. But obviously, we are also learning. You saw the first steps. There were some mishaps with a couple of Ebola patients and so on, but that was very quickly corrected. But unfortunately, with these epidemics, there is a learning curve, even at the hospital level, and that's the kind of scary part.
Yeah, no question about it. No question about it. Hoji, I appreciate your time. Hoji Alimi, he is with Ruthigen. That's RUTHIGEN.com. Thanks so much for your insight today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter, and this is The Price of Business.